Pastor George Borkhardt, and this is another Higher Things video short. Go and sin no more. Out of context Tuesday. That's the subject of today's Higher Things video short. Hey, if you love our videos, if you have been learning about your Christian faith from places that you never expected to learn about your faith from, a Lutheran pastor and his dog, who seems to be missing in action, go ahead and like and subscribe today. You can also go to support.higherthings.org and give today. Your tax-deductible gift keeps Higher Things, a youth organization which is all about passing the faith to the next generation. Take the faith, run with the faith. And my hands get ginormous in front of that camera. Like and subscribe today and give today. All right, one of the most ripped out of context verses of all time is John 8:11. And she said, "No one, Lord." And so he said, "Neither do I, kata krino, neither do I condemn you either. Go from the now, no longer sin." So go and sin no more, man. So from now on, no more sinning. All right. So the Lord rescued this lady who was literally caught in the act. Remember, they all brought her to Jesus, and it's a trap. It's a trap. It helps a lot better when my face is like a fish. The trap is that here's Jesus. He's just giving away salvation to people who don't deserve it. And here's an actual sinner caught in the act of sinning. Adultery, caught in the act. Now, where she is, where he is, the guy who was with her, I have no idea, but she's been caught in the act. So she's thrown in front of Jesus, and they have stones, and they say to him, look, the law of Moses says that we are supposed to stone this woman. So go ahead and stone her, Jesus. What do you think we should do? So if he stones, if he's for stoning her, then all of this business of forgiveness and mercy and love is one thing, is gone. But if he doesn't, well, then all of a sudden he's not obeying the law of Moses. That's a trap. Anyway, so he begins to write something on the ground. As he says, let him who is without sin cast the first stone. And when they heard Jesus's words, probably saw what he was writing, they went away one by another, starting with the old folks, because the old folks are the ones that know their sins first. And then Jesus, and then to the younger people, and then Jesus is left alone with her. Woman, he says, where are they? Is no one here to condemn you? And she says, no one. So, well, then go, and from now on, sin no more. Kata krino is the final judgment. That's the word Jesus used. And remember, the Son of Man didn't come to condemn the cosmos, but that the world would be saved through him. And so kata krino, that's the final judgment. And so they want to exercise the final judgment. He says, where are your accusers? They're all gone. Where are the people who are going to condemn you to hell? They're gone. Now, the way this is usually taken is that it's great and gospelly up until this point, when all of a sudden it makes a turn and people point at the camera like so and say, you better not sin anymore. As if everything that went before didn't just happen. As if she wasn't just caught in the act and he forgave her. As if he didn't stop the mob that was coming with their stones. I mean, this is an Old West mob, get a rope. This is an Old West mob. This is a group of Jews with their stones, and they're going to stone her, and not the fun kind of stoning. We're talking about the dead kind of stoning. And when we turn this into, and I'm going to point at the camera again, no more sinning, we lose the point of the whole pericope. This is not like, I let you off the hook, now don't go sin anymore. As if he rescued her from the law with the gospel to put her back under the law again. This is Where's the people who would send you to hell? Katakrino, final judgment. Where are the people who are going to do the final judgment to you? Well, they're gone. Well, I'm not going to give you the final judgment either. So depart in peace. Your sins are forgiven you. You don't have to sin anymore. It's an imperative, but not all imperatives have to be like this. Stop sinning. This one is, you've been set free from this. You don't have to sin anymore. Not anymore. You are free. When we turn this into stop sinning, we make this all law when Jesus is trying to save the person from hell. No, she can't live in her sins anymore, but that's not what he's saying to her. His words, you don't sin no more, no longer, are this enlivening word that rescues her from the adultery. She's not only forgiven, she doesn't have to do the adultery anymore. She doesn't have to live in her sins anymore. She is free. This is not, I know Jesus has forgiven you, but he does say, sin no more. Ha! No, this is about being freed from your sins. He had freed her from her sins. He had freed her from the final judgment. He had saved her. She doesn't have to go back to her sins anymore. And when he tells her that, it's not received like, whew, thank God. Now I got to make sure I don't sin anymore and get caught in adultery any longer. No, she's been rescued. She no longer has to do this anymore. She no longer has to live this way anymore. She no longer is under the judgment of God. She is free. And to be freed from the law is to be freed from sin. Because the one who, without law, there is no sin. So there isn't any condemnation from Jesus. There isn't any condemnation from the crowd. No one's there to condemn her. So she doesn't have to sin anymore. She is free. If all this is, let's practice it again, stop sinning. Well then, what is everything that God before? All of it's lost in your stop sinning. But this is an enlivening word, a gospel word, a free word, a forgiving word that rescues her from ever having to do this again. I promise you, when you are the person who has been forgiven something great, you don't have to hear Jesus say, stop sinning. Because when he frees you from it, you are completely free. You don't have to do it anymore. And that's the same for you. You don't have to do the sin anymore. You don't have to be living in your doubts. You don't have to be living in your despair. You don't have to be living in your despising of the Lord's words and the taking up in vain of his name. You don't have to be despising the authorities around you anymore. You don't have to be hating and murdering. You're not a slave to not forgiving people. You don't have to be committing adultery or full of lust or full of any sort of sixth commandment sin. You don't have to steal anymore. You don't have to cheat on your taxes anymore. You don't have to gossip and to lie and to spread falseness around or truth about people that damage them. And you don't have to covet anymore, because the one who would katakrino you, the one who would judge you, has set you free from that by forgiving you. Think about it. Think about it. Go and sin no more. You're free from it. You don't have to sin any longer. I'm Pastor George Borghardt, and this is another Higher Things Video Short.